We're on the banks of the Chickamauga Lake here, Reservoir.
Booker T. Washington State Park.
Yes.
Man, this is a gorgeous setting picked out by our guest today.
Yeah, we got a special guest for you. I want to surprise you. We'll hold you on that one.
My passion is river conservation and just being out in nature.
How did that passion spark in you? What was the thing that kind of got you started in that?
I've always loved animals since I can remember. I've always loved going to the Tennessee Aquarium, any aquarium ever, being out fishing, just being out in nature. And one day I found a plastic straw on the beach, and that's when I really found conservation. That day sort of like sparked my interest in not just like more nature, but like changed my life forever.
Yeah.
So then I started 2 years ago putting these up, and so far I have 160 of these out now. I have them in, I think, 9 state parks, and I've collected 30,000 miles of fishing line.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, let's talk about the bin here.
It's made of plumbing PVC. It's a maybe 2-foot long tube, like to hold the fishing line, and an elbow piece so it doesn't get filled with water when it rains.
There you go. Yeah.
And also a screw on the bottom. And I also send all the fishing line to Berkeley Fishing, and they make fishing habitats out of it. So you just put it off a dock, and the fish can live there, so something that would be harming the environment is giving back to it.
Won't you take me back to Tennessee?
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest info about hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. This year, we celebrate the men and women of the TWRA responsible for 75 years of wildlife conservation. Now make welcome your host, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. I'm Jason Harmon. I'll be your host. Glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got a great show lined up for you today, Don. We're on the banks of the Chickamauga Lake here, Reservoir.
Booker T. Washington State Park.
Yes.
Man, this is a gorgeous setting picked out by our guest today.
Yeah, we got a special guest for you. I want to surprise you. We'll hold you on that one, unless Todd's already cut to that camera. You may have seen him, but we got a great show lined up for you today, and I'm excited to talk about conservation and recycling and that fun stuff. So, Don.
Yeah, one of the radio stations that helps us get that word out is WJSQ, right in this neck of the woods in Athens, Tennessee, and we appreciate them. They run the WildCast Extras. That's the daily version, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., and then on Saturdays you can catch the whole show at 6 a.m. So anyway, invite you to listen to that station and or one of our other radio partners, and they number about 30 or so across the state. So we appreciate them.
Definitely. We appreciate our partners, our radio partners, those who run the TV show out there, our TV partners, and everyone. So just keep watching, keep tuning in, keep subscribing, liking, sharing us. So we're got some great stuff that we're trying to get out there to you, and we appreciate y'all doing that. Today we are, like Don said, at Booker T. Washington State Park, but we are with the Conservation Kid. And if you've been on social media, you follow any of the channels related to TWRA or state parks or some of those, you've probably crossed the Conservation Kid,
Yes.
Mr. Cash Daniels, and Cash is here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're glad that you let us invade your day and come out and visit you in your favorite park, right?
Yes, this is my favorite state park that I have been to in my area.
Yeah. So we're just going to try to learn a little bit about you today and start out with that and kind of a meet and greet thing. But you're from the Chattanooga area here, right?
Yes, I was born and raised here.
Awesome. And you frequent this park as one of your favorites. But just tell us a little bit about how old you are, where do you go to school, things like that. What's some of your passions?
So I'm 14 years old, and I'm homeschooled.
Okay.
And my passion is river conservation and just being out in nature.
How did that start? How did that passion spark in you? What was the thing that kind of got you started in that?
Well, I've always loved animals since I can remember. I've always loved going to the Tennessee Aquarium, any aquarium ever, being out fishing, just being out in nature. And one day I found a plastic straw on the beach, and that's when I really found conservation as an option for like a career and everything. And that day sort of like sparked my interest in not just like more nature, but like changed my life forever.
Yeah. Changed your life to where you want to change the world
Yeah.
with, recycling and making sure that those plastics are picked up and our beaches and our river sides, our lake sides are clean. And I think that's very cool.
Yeah, yeah. And you got some recognition. I saw some video of you at the state legislature, and Bill Dance, our iconic fisherman from right here in Tennessee, was a part of that. And I saw your picture made with him, and that was awesome.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. Yeah, my friend Greg Vital told me about that because I went up like a couple days before for the homeschool day in Nashville, and he told me Bill Dance was going to be here, and I'll be able to meet him. And he's like, "Do you want to come back?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Easy question,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, he's very instrumental in the Sandhill Crane Festival too. I usually see Greg Vital at the festival, and he's always a part of that. So I know he's a conservation-minded guy too.
Yes.
So that's good. So you guys are personal friends then.
Yes, we've known each other for a very long time. We've just become great friends. I go out to his buffalo farm all the time, take pictures of the buffalo.
Oh, nice.
Go out to all of his events.
Nice. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, speaking of photography, that's something that you're wanting to get into, right?
Yes, I love photography. It's one of the funnest things I've ever done, and I take my camera bag everywhere just in case there's a good picture somewhere. And I mean, that's in conservation, that's the way you're going to reach people is through social media and filmmaking, because everybody's on Netflix watching a documentary or scrolling through Instagram. So that's the way to like reach people in conservation.
Yeah, that's the way people are, digesting their information, and if you can get it to go viral on there, you can reach a lot of people, can't you?
Yeah, I've had several go viral, but it's like just random which ones do, and I don't know why.
I think
we find that with our shows too. The ones we think, I guess that's of interest to somebody, they'll blow up for some reason,
People are going to really enjoy this show, and it's like, no, not so many.
Not so much.
Well, that's okay. That's cool.
Hey, I am impressed with this prop you brought along. And for our radio audience, I'm looking at a Mount Olive jar that's probably about
pickle jar.
11 pickle jar, about 12 inches tall and about 8 inches in diameter. But I picked this thing up, and I'm amazed at how heavy this is because of its contents. You'd think that nylon fishing line would not weigh so much, but you've got it crammed in there. And how long did it take you to collect this much?
That took me about maybe 2 months, 3 months to collect that entire thing. And you can cram a lot of fishing line into a jar.
Wow. But that represents what sometimes people are just leaving behind.
Yeah.
Leaving in our waters, leaving on our banks. But because of some of the efforts that you've gotten into, and we're going to cover that today, people are recycling this now, especially at some of the parks you've visited, because you've put some containers there for them to do so.
Yeah. Like here at Booker T, it's one of my favorite parks for multiple reasons, but the people here are so amazing, and they use the monofilament bins more than any other park I've ever been to, and I have them in, I think, 9 state parks now.
Okay.
And I've collected, I think it was 3,000 miles of fishing line.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, let's talk about the bin here. What do we call these? What do you call these? Monofilament recycling bins?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, tell us about this bin and how you get it put together, and kind of some of the efforts you got going with those.
So it's made of plumbing PVC. It's a maybe 2 foot long tube, like to hold the fishing line, and an elbow piece so it doesn't get filled with water when it rains.
There you go. Yeah.
And also a screw on the bottom, because if you just put a cap, like, it's just going to fall off. But if you screw it in, it's easier.
Oh, so a screw cap where you can get in.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you can empty it that way. I see. Yeah.
Cool. So these were.
That looks like a 6-inch pipe. Would you say that is?
Yeah, about that. Looks like. Cool. And then you've got some messaging on the front and it looks like you've got some sponsors. Tell us about some of the messaging there you got going on.
Number one, no trash. Not all people listen to that, but it's nice to have it on there. And
just for monofilament or fishing line, period, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but at the river park, there's a lot of trash in them. I had to take one down because there was so much trash in it.
Wow.
It happens.
Yeah.
And then just the program, Reel and Recycle. And I also send all the fishing line to Berkeley Fishing, and they make fishing habitats out of it. So you just put it off a dock, and the fish can live there, so you can fish there, or just throw it in the river and let fish live there. So something that will be harming the environment is giving back to it.
I didn't realize you could do that. So
very
explain a little bit more about that. About how, what kind of thing do they make out of the fishing line?
Well, it's a big cube, but it's just, how do I say this? Poles like all around.
Okay.
So, like,
okay.
They can live in there and like
almost like a stake bed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks sort of like a crab trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So they is that something the public can buy to put in their ponds and things, or do you find like professional agencies using those for fish attractors, or do you know? You may not know, but
I don't know for sure, but I know some people do use them. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. So the reel in and recycle program, is that something that someone else started, or is that something you came up with?
Well, I've seen them in Florida before because
Okay.
that's all people think about when they think of like fishing line and trash is the ocean. But here in Tennessee, again, we have a huge fishing community here. So I knew I could put these up in Tennessee and be really successful and help the environment. And so then I started maybe 2 years ago putting these up, and so far I have 160 of these out now.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. And I know, well, I can see two behind us here on these piers, or on this particular pier, and I think there's some across the way. Maybe you said you used to have one on the trail back here.
Yeah.
That's really cool, that you're getting them in spots where people are fishing, and educating them, and letting them know this is a problem, and we need to work together to keep this fishing line out of the waters, and it's great.
So I'm sure you had to approach the powers that be, so to speak, at the state parks. And was it local, or did you kind of go to the top of the food chain to get permission to do this, globally at the state parks, or how'd that work?
When I started, it was just talking to the specific state park. Hey, do you want these? But as I got like more out there, I went to go talk to like the higher ups in like TDEC, TWRA, things like that. And I'm really good friends with the commissioner. And last year we were talking about a trip that I was going to take out to West Tennessee, just to put up like a bunch of these out in like, I think it was maybe 6 state parks in 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so far, it's been really successful talking specifically to the rangers, but sometimes I do have to talk to higher ups.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I think rangers and folks like that would be excited to have that in their parks. It's going to help keep my park clean, So
I bet that's not a hard sell.
it's a no-brainer. I'd say.
And now there's a program, like it's the Green Park program, something like that. And for it to be a green park, you have to have these in there.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. Wow, well, that's cool, and I'm sure your efforts probably kind of got that started. Yeah, that's awesome to think about. To know you've had that impact.
I know Jason mentioned a minute ago about sponsorship, but I see Boat US Foundation has their logo on it, so I guess they're a part of this as well, right?
Somewhat, yes.
Yeah.
Berkeley, and then they probably join together.
Yeah,
that's cool. Well, I hate to say it, but Don, what did you find today?
Oh, what I found was something
that should have been put in.
Yeah, Cash's partner. I'm going to put it that way. Your mom. Now you're homeschooled, so I'm sure mom is front and center on your education.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, she's a partner with you on this deal, too, because you don't have wheels yet. You're 14. You can't drive yourself.
Yeah, she drives me everywhere. And pays for some of my stuff, or
Yeah.
she paid for these until she cut me off her bank account.
Well, congratulations to you for recruiting her and educating her about this, because just prior to us starting to roll tape on this show today, she walked over and we saw her discreetly drop this, and it's it's just something a fisherman left, and it's got a hook on it. It's got a couple of lead weights and some monofilament lines, so I'm sure that's going to go to the right place. But anyway, just had to point out that your mom's a good partner in this deal.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. Well, you covered a lot on those bins, and I want to back up real quick and just kind of come back to that first moment where you were coming back from the beach. You saw that straw, and you're like, we got to do something, So what was some of the first efforts that you did when you got back to Tennessee to start, working on this endeavor?
Well, number one was research. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to help the environment, so I just did research. And eventually I found out that 80% of all ocean trash does come from rivers, and that the Tennessee River is the most polluted with microplastics than any other river tested in the entire world.
Wow.
And then after that, I just started doing river cleanups just with my family, and then it got bigger, starting to do it with organizations like Keep Tennessee River Beautiful. I work a lot with them. Living Lands and Waters, I've worked with them before, and so far I've removed 45,000 pounds of trash, so those little cleanups with my family, now it's gotten to here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with Jason. I want Tennessee to be number one.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in that category.
Yeah.
I'd
rather it be football or basketball.
Man, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's crazy to think that we're number one in that, and I'm thankful that you've kind of made that your project, and you're working towards cleanups and things like that. And have you partnered with, I'm sure you have, or maybe inspired some of these fishing teams and things like that do these cleanups and stuff? What's some other groups you've worked with here in Tennessee, not just with your family, but I know you've been out with other groups?
Yeah, I do a lot with my trail life group, my church. I talk a lot with schools like Silverdale Baptist Academy. I go talk to them, take them out on cleanups a lot. It's a great learning experience for the kids to get out and start cleaning up. Because I love going to talk to kids. I mean, they're the next generation. They're the ones who are going to inherit the planet.
Yeah.
And some more organizations. I Keep America Beautiful, the entire Keep America Beautiful affiliation. I've been with them. Yeah, and I also try and get political figures, like people with higher power, out into these cleanups so they can see what they're really voting on and not just seeing it on a screen in an office.
Yeah, that's really powerful to hear you say that I don't want to leave that to the next generation. Like we're, as far as the agency goes, we're trying to protect the wildlife so future generations can enjoy that, fishing and hunting and things like that. And you're hoping that the future generations are not left with a trashy world. That that's cool. I think that's very cool that you've got that passion. Well, we're going to keep moving along. I had a note here. What are the Cleanup Kids? I saw that on your Instagram, and I was just curious. Tell us a little about that.
So the Cleanup Kids is an organization I founded with my friend Ella in 2019 to help teach kids all over the world about the importance of conservation and keeping our environment clean. And so far with that organization, I've been able to speak to over 15,000 kids all over the globe.
Awesome. Wow. So it's kind of like that second grade class, a chance to go out and talk with those kids and educate.
It's amazing how influential young people can be. You get to them early like that, and then they go out fishing with their dad or their granddad or their uncle, and they may see them doing something that hey granddad or dad, you need to pick up that line, let's recycle that, so it's kind of like the seatbelt thing. As kids, I know growing up, it's important to get the kids involved in making sure that their parents are wearing the seatbelt as well. So
they let me know if I've not got mine on.
Exactly, and I do too occasionally.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. But yeah, and another thing that I thought was cool was you were featured in a highlight magazine. I don't know if folks know the Highlights magazine. That's for kids. So you were right there on in the cover there, working, and educating kids through that magazine.
Yeah, that's a really fun experience, being able to go into a magazine or just be in any magazine, really.
Yeah.
Because I've been in Time magazine before. That was really fun. Just educating the next generation, either to be through talking to them specifically, or through a magazine.
I can't wait to hear his next interview. He's going to say that my favorite podcast I've ever been on was Tennessee WildCast. I could see that.
I could see, yeah. Cash
No
will be
pressure.
right there. He'll be right there. So tell us about the Time magazine. That one kind of got by me, so I didn't see that one. What about that one?
So that was a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
So it was the Time Kid of the Year event, and I got to the top 5. And with that, I had to go film a little short video down in Tampa, and I got to meet Rob Gronkowski, get a message from Bendy Irwin. It was a really fun experience. It made me realize how long it takes to make a 5-minute video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's neat. That's neat. Well, now that you mention it, I do remember that part now. It kind of got by me there.
Yeah,
for a second.
that's very cool to be recognized as a Kid of the Year. That's a big title. I mean,
I didn't end up winning, but I got
in the top 5.
out
In
of
the
like
nation,
10,000 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's very cool. Well, and another group that you're a part of or an ambassador for is Four Oceans, and I see the bracelets on your wrist, and I started researching, and I found out what the bracelets were about. But I want you to explain to the audience, tell them what's going on here.
So a 4Ocean bracelet is a bracelet made by a company called 4Ocean. They were founded a little while back, and I was able to meet them on the Kelly Clarkson show, and I became really good friends with them.
Wait, you were on the Kelly Clarkson show?
Yes.
Man, this kid gets around.
He's name dropping and doesn't even mean to.
Yeah. Bill Dance, Kelly Clarkson. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
And I've always loved their bracelets, and for every one that you buy, they remove 1 pound of trash out of the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And when I met them, they gave me the prototype to these braided ones because they had not been released yet.
Oh, no, that's neat.
And after a while, I became an ambassador for them. So I talk about them. I get a discount code on the website. And I was able to go out on a cleanup a couple months ago with Alex, their co-founder.
Okay.
And that was an amazing experience I was able to go out on.
That's very cool. So anybody can go on on that website or yours, I guess, and get the discount code and purchase one of those, and that helps recycle 1 pound of trash from the ocean.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So I can't count as many bracelets as he has on here, but that's a lot of trash.
That's a lot. A lot of bracelets. Yeah.
But that's cool. So anybody that's listening, go check those out. I might have to do that myself. That's a cool initiative.
Yeah. Very, very neat.
It's amazing how much trash is in our oceans and things. I've saw talking to Todd, our producer here, this morning about some pictures that I saw of trash just piling up on these islands and stuff. And it's very sad that other countries and other people are having to deal with some of the trash that we're leaving behind.
Yeah. And you never know what you do. Will that make a huge impact or a little one? And every little bit helps. Even if you're walking in the Walmart parking lot and see a plastic bag floating around, you can pick that up and make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with throwing something down. If you just throw a plastic bottle down, that can make a huge impact on wildlife.
Yeah. Definitely. And we did a show with nobody trashes Tennessee. May have been 6-8 months ago, something like that. But we did a show with those guys, and I learned a lot that even food waste is considered trash, and it can be harmful. It can cause animals to be in the way of vehicles, which and can cause harm to wildlife, or anything you throw
people
out.
Think that that's just biodegradable. It's a banana peel, but like you said, it attracts wildlife to a highway. That's just not a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so go check out that site. I know you partner with them a little bit, so go check out Nobody Trashes Tennessee and see what you can do to help Tennessee out. Remind folks how they can find you, Cash. Where's your information, your social media handles, things like that?
Yep. My Instagram is the Conservation Kid, and the same with Facebook. And you can also go to the Cleanup Kids on Instagram or thecleanupkids.org and become a cleanup kid.
Okay, cool. Well, tell us about what's involved with that, because I might want to get my kids involved.
So, there's a bunch of projects you can do that we'll send you a care package before anything when you join.
Mm-hmm.
And you can come out to cleanups if you're in the vicinity of one, and we'll just teach you about the importance and how to clean up properly, how to go talk to schools and things like that.
Awesome.
Just the importance.
So once you sign up for that, you'll get an alert, right? If there's a cleanup in your area that
yes,
you
and
get involved in.
Yeah, and when you follow the Cleanup Kids Instagram, we'll also post them on there.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's a good way to join the fight with Cash. That's cool. I like it a lot. One other note I had here was Water Bear. Tell us what Water Bear, you were featured in that. I'm curious.
Yes. That's a streaming service for conservation films, and I was featured in there with my own documentary. That documentary was made through Rivers Our Life, an organization that focuses on rivers and people making a difference on there. And that was made last year. They came down here and filmed for 2 days, and it was a very difficult process because it was all day.
Oh, yeah.
That day and all day that day. And it was a fun experience, and I got to learn how to make a documentary.
Nice.
Very cool. So go check that out. Water Bear. I think that's cool that there's that channel dedicated to conservation.
Yeah.
I'll have to check more into that. Maybe it'll be a spot for some of our content.
I got a technical question to ask.
Go ahead.
What kind of camera do you have?
Ooh, a Canon
You don't have to name it's a DSLR though, right?
Yeah.
You can point and shoot.
You can do video or stills. Okay.
Yeah, and I own a ton of lenses. I own a huge zoom lens.
Oh yeah, you got to have that.
Yeah.
Wildlife.
Definitely.
Terrain, mountains lens, and a couple medium zoom lenses.
Nice.
Very cool.
There, I own a lot of camera gear.
Have you started shooting some of your own documentaries and videos and things like that?
I definitely want to for the next film festival this year.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to do that. Make my own.
Yeah, I saw you attended a film festival here in Chattanooga area, didn't you?
Yes, that was a couple months ago, and my film was featured, and they gave a big donation too.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, we're going to run out of time here, but first I wanted to just say thank you for all that you do for keeping Tennessee beautiful and keeping our rivers and lakes and oceans cleaner.
Yeah.
Appreciate that very much. And before we go, what's one of your favorite times on the water? You love to fish. Tell us a quick fishing story.
Fishing story. Well, I've not been fishing in a while, but I love going fishing with my grandfather. He used to have a pond next to a farm, and I used to just love going out there and fishing with him.
Yeah. I say you're pretty busy now. You got a lot of cleanups going on, so you find some time to fish when you can, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I really appreciate you being with us today, Don. I think this has been a good episode.
It has been.
This is one people need to go watch.
Definitely.
Go watch, go listen. But Cash, keep up the efforts. And
yes, I will. And thank you so much for having me on today.
You bet.
Thank you. Well, protect our wildlife, protect our waters, clean up your trash, use those receptacles at the fishing piers for your fishing line. And if you see a piece of trash at Walmart, pick it up. We've learned a lot here today, and I think it's a great, some great instruction we can imply or put into our daily practice as we're going about our days. So Thank you again, Cash. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Join us as we celebrate 75 years of conservation in our great state. You can invest in Tennessee's wildlife future by purchasing a license at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. That's GoOutdoorsTennessee.com.